and about, I would say, a dozen different pieces of technology that all fit together. We're basically trying to recreate everything that Marvel has at once. So we have multiple comic books, we have artists, we have animators, because our comics are animated, then are interactive. So some of you have seen it. Everybody here is going to be getting a free comic in the next few weeks, because I'm going to be basically giving one away to everybody I know, so you can see what we have. And I'll post that in like the Crypto Mondays chat and all this, and it'll make it really easy to do it. One of the things we've done is make digital comic books, NFT comic books, collectible without any downloads. So you can do everything just in WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, and Signal, and basically any other chat app that you want. So we realize that's a huge barrier to entry. People don't want a new app, and if you ask people to download an app, they're just not interested in doing that. So putting it all right into WhatsApp or whatever people are familiar with makes it really easy. So you weren't at Satoshi Roundtable this year, but we actually launched our first comic book at Satoshi Roundtable in Dubai this year, because the founder is a huge comic book fan, and so we gave one to everybody there, and people saw, like, all they have to do is scan the QR code, and we were giving people 2 different cryptos and an NFT that was minted while they watched in less than 30 seconds, and they don't need to download anything. It's really quite remarkable. And so right now I met with the head of Binance Games, I met with the head of Animoca. A lot of really big companies from mainstream to crypto are really interested in our technology, because everybody sort of realized that there's this incredible blocker for both crypto and NFTs, which is MetaMask. I call it MetaMask, but MetaMask actually involves more than MetaMask. In order to use MetaMask, you have to understand private keys. And in order to use it effectively, you usually have to get Coinbase, and then you have to get, if you want to play like a play-to-earn game, you have to then get some Bitcoin or USDT and send it to an exchange, so you got to get that too and figure out how to do that. And then you got to buy something, and it's a lot of steps. It's a lot of steps. Hours and hours of onboarding, and people don't want to do it. I met with the head of Binance Games when I was in Dubai, and he told me they had like 6 million users among all of their games. And they said it's just like they hit a wall, like they cannot get anybody else in. But the market for games is hundreds of billions of dollars. It's one of the biggest, entertainment industries in the world, and they just can't get past it. So he said, Jeff, if you can solve this problem for us, I can give you 6 million users if you can help us build past that with something that's easier. So it's one of the things we're working on is, basically everybody I show what we have to wants it right now. So it's just this gigantic blocking issue. And I've been talking about this since 2017, like the ease of use factor for crypto is going to be a killer. And we've been talking about this since 2017 with DIVI, as you remember, when we were here. And it's taken until now, until people are really, I think, ready to solve the problem of making things really easy. And I thought it was going to be years ago, but then DeFi came, everybody's focused on that, and NFTs came, everybody's focused on that. At some point, people are going to actually want to onboard the rest of the world besides the crypto nerds, and so that's what we've been focused on.
I know a couple nerds here. So tell me a little bit about, I can tell obviously easy use is a big focus for you guys. What do you see in your roadmap moving forward, and as we go into Q2 and Q3, Q4 of 2023, and more importantly, like what is your focal point? What do you want to have bull market in 2024?
Yeah, we're really trying to get the comics ready. So we have about artists that we're working with. There are people from Marvel and DC. Our CEO he was on Crypto Mondays actually. He was the head of marketing for Cirque du Soleil. We just joined the team named Ken Abrams, who is the head of licensing and toy development for Marvel for 3 years. And he looked at what we have. He works with all the big companies in the world. He's doing licensing, and he said, Geoff, like this is the future of comics. He's like the #1 guy in comics in the world for figuring out how to turn comics into toys, because comics don't make money. It's the toys that make money. It's the merchandise, it's the movies, everything but the comics make money. I mean, literally like 99% of it is everything but the comics. But you need the comics as the core to introduce the characters and tell the stories and use the comics. It's much cheaper, for example, to create a comic book story and see if that resonates with people than say spending $100 million on a a movie, right? So comic books, there are about 200 comic book companies in the United States, and manga is about 4 or 5 times larger than all the American and Western comic books put together. So manga is gigantic and it's growing. Manga is absolutely crushed, actually, American comic books right now. Manga grew like 100% in the last couple of years, and Marvel and DC have been losing fans like crazy because they haven't really been able to adjust to the way that people want stories to sort of come together. Marvel tends to do comic books that are very sort of short term. Manga is run by a single creator that takes 4 to 10 years to tell a story. And so if you get into, say, Spider-Man, like, you have no idea which Spider-Man is even the Spider-Man, because they have all these multiverses. You just don't know where to start the story. It's just sort of thrown together all the time. And manga is done by a single creator that has a vision that lasts for years, and so you know where to go. If you want to know about this character, you go to issue number 1, and you start reading, and 10 years later, that same creator is going to be there. They don't sell it to like a company that starts hiring artists that change everything. And so people like that. It's much better for the way people want to hear stories right now. So we're kind of focusing on that. We have like Marvel artists, but trying to do manga type stories. And so I've been for years and years trying to study how to do this the right way.
Well, yeah, I'm definitely a Marvel fan myself, and I could tell you, hearing different versions of stories that we grew up with doesn't necessarily resonate with you if you read the comic books and you see like different movies and how they change things. It's obviously not cool. So, with that being said, do we have any questions for Mr. McCabe out here in the world of this guy?
So you say you're trying to improve the onboarding for gaming and stuff like that. So what would the user experience look like?
Okay, so
to integrate blockchain gaming.
So let me repeat the question.
That's a really
The question is essentially, what does the interface look like if you're trying to create easy use for onboarding for new users?
Yeah, so that's a really good question. So with our wallet, we've made it embeddable. So for example, I have a video game company too, and we have a working video game that you can download right now at siegeworlds.com and see how it works. So you can basically have people just download your game, start playing it, and they're going to get crypto within that game. Now, they don't own it yet. When they're ready to get their crypto or their NFTs that they're earning in the game, and there's an in-game market, all they have to do is put in their phone number, they're gonna get a link, they confirm it, and then they're gonna have a wallet 15 seconds later with their crypto and their NFTs in it. It's like the easiest thing you've ever seen. If they want, they can then send that to their MetaMask, or they can send it to an exchange or something like that. So it basically allows people to play your game before they have to go through this horrendous learning process of going through MetaMask and all this kind of stuff. And one of the problems with gaming right now and with comics is that people have this mindset that crypto is not for them. I mean, we went to New York Comic Con and we showed it to so many people. Every single artist there knew about NFT art. They knew it was coming, but they all said the same thing. This sounds really cool. I know it's the future, but it's not for me. Why isn't it for you? Well, it's too complicated. It's too difficult. I don't understand it and stuff like this. So what we're doing is turning that on its head, right? People see what they have and suddenly they're thinking, oh, this is for me. I can do this. And so we went to New York Comic Con and gave NFTs to like hundreds of people, like every artist, cover artist, everybody we could. And we're trying to change their mentality, right? So they're thinking, oh, this is something that's doable for them and for their users. And so because it just makes it so easy when it's within WhatsApp or a chat app they're already using. So then you have them in the right mind space where they're thinking, okay, I can do this. And they start to then ask, well, what else can I do with this? How do I sell it? What do I need to do? Because now they're in a positive mood. Because I think about it in terms of mood, right? Instead of a negative mood, now they're in a positive mood. And then you can start talking about private keys, but our chat app wallet, we get people in early and easily with a custodial version, and then we can move them into a non-custodial version, which, ultimately all of us are generally decentralization maximalists here. We want people learning about private keys and all of this, but it's very hard as a starting point. So we have a really easy starting point, get people in the right mood, and then you get them excited about the idea of decentralization once they understand that they can do this.
Next question. Stokes.
You mentioned that they don't make money on the comic books, and you need this like massive infrastructure of toys and movies and other things. But that's like the thing you went to, is the comic books. What's your story for being a wildly successful, profitable company? How are you gonna? What does the roadmap look like to go from where you are, admittedly something not profitable, to something that is gonna be this big system? And,
Well,
being like Marvel, that's obviously a massive amount of investment.
Well, yeah, that's a good question, and that's one of the things I've been explaining to different artists and people. Some people I was surprised actually. We thought we were going to get a lot of pushback at New York Comic Con for people that hated NFTs, because in the gaming world, everybody hates NFTs. Won't touch them with a 10-foot pole. But they weren't against it. They were actually very curious. I just thought it was going to be too complicated. So one of the things I've explained to people is that NFTs, the printing cost, the minting cost is very low. People don't make money with the comic books because of all the logistics and the cost of the paper and the ink and all that. It's very expensive to print this. Then you got to figure out how to ship them all over the world to thousands of comic book stores. This is so much easier with digital. So people can actually make money with NFTs, or if they want to, they could just give them away. If they have a good enough story and they believe in their characters, why not just grow a fan base and give them away for free? And you do it on Polygon, and it's 2 cents to mint an NFT. So it offers new opportunities. You could never do that with paper. It's just too expensive. It's a huge amount, minimum printing cost, and you got to ship it and you got to promote it. People do it because it's a passion project, because they love it. It's very rare that people can make any money, but doing it with NFTs offers this new opportunity. And we're recognizing that one of the pieces of software we developed, we call the Creator app. So we've been building over the last 2 years an application that people can basically upload their art to. Now we're going to be, connecting it with AI art, so people can generate art or use their own art, and they can launch NFTs on the blockchain of their choice as comic books, or as pin-ups, or as covers, or whatever they want to do. They can connect it to video games or to other different projects. And so it's like a Photoshop type app. You can see demos of it on our website. We have about 10 different things that are about 80% done, but it's pretty cool because you don't need to know anything about crypto or blockchain, and you can just say, for example, create your comic book and then just give it to all your friends in WhatsApp. And people get to know your characters. They can read your stories, and you can have them just pay you in fiat, or you can have them pay you in crypto for the people that know how to do it. We're developing in parallel a different bot that's specifically just for NFTs that doesn't have any crypto in it, because that way we can take custody of people's NFTs without custody of crypto. Because as soon as you do that, you're basically a bank. So you have a whole bunch of money transmitters laws you have to deal with, which are cumbersome and expensive and limiting. So I think that actually the future of NFTs are really going to be storytelling based NFTs, and they're going to be custodial in this type of chat app, where people, they own their NFTs, they can sell them on OpenSea or anywhere they want. They can mint them right within WhatsApp. It actually exists right now in our app. You just talk to our bot, you say mint, and then you just upload a photo and it mints it right there, and it just gives you the link to it on OpenSea. Pretty remarkable, actually. But we think that, for the most part, people don't want to be doing with crypto. So our bot does all the crypto in the background. They never have access to the crypto, so we're not banking them. They just have NFTs, and right now NFTs are not considered to be money. Now that may change. Who knows what the SEC and the U.S. government's going to do, but for now, NFTs are not considered money, so we can take custody of people's NFTs for them, just hold them for them. If they want to sell them and they want to move them to MetaMask, they can, and that saves us a lot of trouble. But I really think that's the future, especially with manga and with kids. Like when I collected comic books as a kid, and my friends and I would sell them to each other and stuff. I'm trying to replicate what I remember doing as a junior high school and high school age kid, but do it all with blockchain and giving kids access to global markets.
Any more questions for Mr. McCabe? Yes.
Yeah, is there any way for creators to encrypt their comic books or something so that only current
Yeah, so all of the content is put onto IPFS and it's all encrypted with the private key of that NFT. So you can't just copy and paste it. And also, all of our comic books are not JPEGs, they're HTML5. Each page is made up of 100 little miniature layers. It makes it very hard for people to copy it, and they're all animated and they're interactive. So for example, in the comic book demo that we released and that I'm going to give everybody, there's an Easter egg in there. You can go there, if you find it, you click it, and something's going to pop up, animation, sound, and then it's going to drop another NFT into your wallet, and you're going to be able to use that as it's going to be a weapon that's for a video game. So it's a way of connecting video games and comic books. And I think this is very important because as a video game developer, what you really want is to immerse the players in the game. And it's very hard to do that without stories. And people don't generally really connect with the story of a video game very easily. It's usually done after the fact. So what we decided to do is make a comic book story where people could read the story. The characters would be really great, and the story will be really great. And then when people play the video game, they can either play those players, or they can play those characters that they read about, or they can play their own character. But they feel more emotional connection to the game because of what they've read, because we put them in a mental state of being concerned about these characters because they're worried about their health, what they've suffered in the game, the mysteries that are unsolved, all these things that create what they call psychological incompleteness in storytelling will create more immersion in the game. And I've talked to so many different game developers in the play-to-earn space who kind of lament over the fact that nobody seems to care about their lore. And I was explaining to them, it's not the lore, it's the story, and it's not even the story, it's the characters. It's not just the characters, you have to do the characters right so people understand that they have weaknesses. You have to get people so that they identify with those characters so they feel something. When the characters win, they feel excitement for them because they're somehow emotionally invested in them. This is it's very hard to do all this. You have to study it for a long time or hire storytelling experts, and it's not easy. So most movies are not very good. Most comic books are not very good because it's not that easy. It's so much easier to hire a good artist than to hire a good writer that knows how to do this well. So we've really studied this for years, how to do it right. So I think you're going to find that the comic book I'm going to give away, it's not really a story, it's more of a tech demo. You'll see the characters and stuff. There's an introduction to the characters. Our next comic book that actually starts a story is 40 pages and it's really good. So I think that we'll probably end up giving that one away too because we just want to promote the space. And I personally believe that NFT comic books will be so much bigger than the NFT space now. I think stories are incredibly valuable. Characters are really valuable. Most people don't know that Spider-Man is worth they say $4 to $6 billion. Like if he was a football player, you could trade from Marvel to DC. That's how much they'd have to pay, $4 to $6 billion. And every character is worth a lot. I mean, think about how much Wolverine is worth. They're different values, but the IP value of characters that come from comic books are in the hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a gigantic industry that NFTs have the ability to tap into in new ways that no one's ever really thought of before. So, we thought this through and really know what we're doing. We're doing it right, and it's taking a lot of money, a lot of time.
Any more questions? Let's give it up for my guy, Geoff McCabe, DIVI and Lightning Works. And give it up for me too, Devin. And Ryan was supposed to be here. Mr. Breslow didn't make it. I'm not sure where he was. I hope everything's okay. But Mr. Breslow is here in San Juan, so I'd imagine if we don't get him next week, we'll get him on the following week. But Geoff is kind enough to step up for us this week. You guys should just stay tuned, and we'll keep you guys updated. Who will get you next week? That's what I got for you guys, man. Let's have a good time tonight, man. Appreciate you guys coming out.
Thank you.